Today, I'm still in Mauritius, but this time we're going from a sort of an aged rum to a white, a blanc sugar cane juice rum. But this time we are Bristol Spirits, and this is the Bristol finest Mauritius cane juice rum distilled at Labourdonnais. Getting confused by the cameras then, but so I have got this. This is Bristol sent me this, probably about a year ago now. It's like a good selection box with loads of other things. And I kind of wanted to, I actually forgot about it. I was nearly bought a bottle. And I thought, and then I've remembered, and I thought, do you know what? There's enough here to get a kind of an idea of what this rum is all about. It is something that I've never tasted, to my knowledge. I'm pretty sure that I haven't opened that bottle. That's there. So I've got no idea. This will be my first kind of example of a Mauritius Blanc sugar cane juice rum. Not agricole, sugar cane juice rum. So I'm looking forward to this. So let's give you the prices. So for a 70cl, not that little bottle, but for a 70cl in the UK, $39.74 in master malt. So round it up, £40 roughly, which is the equivalent to $51 and 46.47 euros. So we're going a little bit expensive, more expensive. I shouldn't say expensive, compared to some of the rums that I featured from Martinique and Guadeloupe. Is very much kind of on that playground as well. And it's Bristol. So Bristol Spirits, we know full well, are all about quality of rum. So, that's not going to be any old rubbish in that bottle. We hopefully should have a decent rum. It's just a question of whether I like it or not. And the only other things I can really tell you, obviously column still, Mauritius, and it's 43% ABV. There is little to no other knowledge about this other than the fact it's come out of the Labourdonnais distillery. So with a little glug in the glass and on the nostrils, do you know what? If I was blindfolded, if I didn't know what that was, if I was spelling that, I'm going for white wine. That is just is white wine. It's grape. Could I be more specific with grapes? It's not Sauvignon Blanc. It's not. I potentially, I do drink a little bit of wine from time to time. I potentially go sort of more Chardonnay sort of vibes. I would go Pinot Grigio, but definitely wouldn't go Sauvignon Blanc. Definitely wouldn't go Chenin Blanc. It's kind of got this earthy kind of, Chardonnay. No, I'm not going that far. But I was going to say oaked Chardonnay. Do I get anything? Now that I've got finish my sentences. Do I get anything else off it? The answer, now that I've got wine in my head, no. The wine is taken over. I don't get fruit. I don't really get grassy herbaceousness that we're used to with Blanc sugar cane juice rums. It's wine. Wine is taken over my head, and I'm just smelling wine. I can be blindfolded. I'm about to drink a glass of white wine. It is that simple. However, on a taste, I am not drinking white wine. Holy hell. That is like, if ever I tasted a rum that was polar opposite to how it smelled and how it tasted, it is that. I don't think I've ever experienced that before. How can something just on the nose taste like Chardonnay, or smell like Chardonnay, and then taste like a sugary, not sweet, I don't mean that, don't jump down my throat, but a distilled sugar, fruity little number. That is just completely confused my little head. First up, I want to pay homage to the ABV. 43%, that punches a lot more than that. Some 43%, especially in the aged stuff. Don't think I've had many Blanc 43%, if any. It's either 40 or 50 or over 50. Martinique and Guadeloupe. That, for me, punches way above any 40% agricole that I've had. And almost up at some of the 50% stuff. If I taste it blind, I'm not overly, I would say it's stronger, definitely, than 40%. There was enough punch in it to think that's stronger. However, the 50% stuff that I've tasted, it's not quite got that oomph. So I would naturally kind of associate that with the lower. I'd go higher than 43, but I'd potentially go 46, 48, and you might be thinking, well, hang on, there's not much marginal difference. But I promise you, when you start drinking a lot of rums, there's actually a big difference between 40 and 43 and 43 and 46. You know, you might not be able to pick the ABV, but in your head, you're thinking, that's stronger. So now I've been waffling for a couple of minutes and let those flavours sort of play about in my palate. Pear. There's still this sort of olivey, briny kind of ness to it. But like dialed back, it's in the background. Pear is the big flavour that I kind of get. And it's this weird thing. The finish is quite lengthy, but the flavour disappears. What I'm trying to say to you, I've got that lengthy sugar distillate kind of finish to it. A lovely kind of sugar. I don't want it. I just want to emphasise, I don't mean sweet. It's just evident that you are drinking distilled sugar, essentially. But I don't mean that in a sweet way. You know, don't think of that as a sweet rum. It's really, really not. In Bristol, definitely, as far as I'm 99.9% sure, definitely don't dosage any of their rums, I think. So that's not sweet. But you are drinking sugar. You know, it's alcoholic sugar. I'm just doing something different there. Kind of mixing a bit of saliva with the rum this time. That's when the brininess, the olive sort of vibe come out. Maybe even a touch of that wine comes out. If you drink it and just let it coat your palate without mixing saliva with it, is very much tropical fruit. With a little prickle of spice, nothing too major. The spice comes from the heat, the alcohol in there. And you know, I'm saying it's punching way above the 43. As I say, not up to the 50s, but you know, I'd definitely put that 46, 48%, give or take, roughly about there. So that's where the prickle of spices is, that prickly alcohol bite. But the saliva brings that sort of saline-y, olivey brininess to it. But on the sip is definitely fresh green fruits. That's what I go. I'm going more pear than anything else. I wouldn't say apple. I wouldn't say citrus. I wouldn't say anything that. It's kind of like a pear, not quite pear drop, but a nice, juicy, ripe pear. Nice, juicy, ripe conference pear. Now, this is an intriguing one for me because I've got, over this journey, I've got into cane juice rums and I've got some favourites that I absolutely adore to sip neat. I'm generally not sure where that sits for me. There's something in it that makes me think I wouldn't grab this to sip neat. But I'm also sitting here thinking, I'm not kind of sure which direction to take that in with the mixer. I think it's too elegant, too refined, actually, to be a mixing rum, although, you know, that's potentially what it's crafted for. But for me, my palate, I'm not really sipping this, and I can't pinpoint it any further than that. So let's kind of try and sum this up with my power questions. I love my power questions. Is it value for money? Would I restock it? Have I got anything behind the bar already that I would compare it to this? So, rounded up, £40 in UK, 50 rounded down, 51 US dollars, rounded up 47 euros. What I've got already in the cane juice front, I think it is quality. It is absolute quality, but compared to what I've got and what I've bought, value for money wise, personally, I've got more Blanc. I'm just going to call them agricoles, even though this isn't an agricole. Sugarcane juice. I'm going, essentially, Mauritius is not a sort of French, out-and-out French island, essentially. I am potentially going more towards the agricole style for a Blanc rum. That is lovely, but I, in all consciousness, can't put it in the same category as some of those Blanc rums that I've got up there. And I think that's all to do with that sort of winey, olivey brininess that comes through in this. Is that a restock for me? No, I wouldn't. Well, Would I go and jump buy out a bottle of this? No, because I don't genuinely know the use case from it. That for me, and it will be. This is why we love rum. Rum, everyone's got a different palate, okay? And all I can do is guide you through my palate. I'm not saying it's basically what I was going to say. I don't think that's a daiquiri rum. I'm not saying that none of you are going to enjoy it by a daiquiri. Of course you are. We're going to have a split audience here. There are some people that are going to absolutely adore that. It's a daiquiri. It's just not my kind of daiquiri rum. And although videos haven't dropped, and although I haven't spoken to them yet, the Nissan, silent hand, thanks Brian, and the HSC pastor, and to be fair, even the Madeira stuff down there, I'm having them over that. Daiquiris, neat cocktails. There's not enough oomph in it for me to put a distinguished note into a cocktail. I'm not going to make a Mai Tai or anything like that and think, oh yeah, a little touch of that. I don't know. I don't want to say, sorry, Bristol, Simon, John, I'm sorry. I don't want to say it's a nothing rum, but I'm struggling. I'm struggling with it because when you put it in sugar, in that category of sugar cane juice rums, and I'm not a sugar cane juice devotee. I'm learning on my journey as we go along, and that could be half it. I think my passion actually goes with those French islands and up here as well, Guadeloupe.